Hi, myself Yash Karanjaukar, pursuing Masters in Interaction Design here at IDC School of Design, IIT Bombay. So this video is about a demo of a game which I have designed in my third semester. The game is called Reveal, and the game is based on the concepts of quantum physics. So let's dive into the game. So this is the box of the game Reveal, which is based on the concepts of quantum physics. So as you can see on the top cover of the box, there are few elements, like there are some cards which are in blue, there's eye on it, there's a cat there, and basically it's written that what's the age group of the people for whom the game is suitable for, and it's a 2 to 3 player game, and the average time to play this game is about 20 minutes. On the sides you can see there is a sort of branding of the game, and also the same details here. Here again the name of the designer, again here on the sides. Similarly, so it's made in IDC School of Design, IIT Bombay. And at the back there's something written about the game, how this game initiated, and what does it intend to do. There's the list of contents in the game, and then the similar details again. Let's open the box and see what's inside. So as soon as we open the box, there's the manual of the game, which again gives out the branding of the game, and there are certain instructions. So it's a very short manual of A6 size, and there are elements and certain instructions like how to play the game, how to win, what's the objective, and the pieces of the game, and basically the namings of the pieces and what do they mean. And at the back there is some information about the cards and some of the conditions, right? But for now we don't need a manual because that's the purpose of the video, to explain it. Then there are some jute pouches where there's a violet color annotation, and then there's a orange color annotation in the same pouch, and there's one more with the green color annotation. Then there's one more pouch with nothing as in, but if we open the pouch, there are few cards in it, a very small deck of cards. We'll get to it, what it is about. Then there are these waffle like structures. These are 5 in number, 1 2 3 4 and 5. Okay, this is there. And then there are 2 silicone packets, basically to get rid of the humidity. At the opening or the notch of the box, there's some featured element of the game, which we'll see later what it is about. Let's keep the box aside and look at the game setup. So according to the design, these waffle like structures are called as fields. So these are named as quantum fields. These are 4x4 grid structures, and there are sort of squarish voids in the structure. These are, again, as I told earlier, these are 5 in number. Okay, and these can be spread out anyway, placed anywhere. They don't have any serial order or any hierarchy over there. So these pouches contain certain elements by help of which we should play the game. So we'll see what's there in the green pouch. So these two are the type of the elements, and there are further some color differentiations, but we'll get to that. Also, the orange pouch contains the same things but in orange color for a different player. So this I have called for the game as a pair of an entanglement. So it's an entangled pair. Also, these are the boxes which will fill the voids of the quantum field. And below them, if you see, for a pair, one has a cat, if it's visible, and one has a broken flask, and you have 3 of these in number. So there's one yellow, there's one pink pair, and there's one blue pair. And then there are these similar elements which I'm calling particles, and these are 12 in number. So let's arrange them. So this should be the basic arrangement of the elements of the game. So there's no layout or sort of no serial order for the arrangement. The condition should be only that these boxes or entangled pairs should be face down. Then there are these cards. All right, so what these cards do or what do they mean, I'll explain it to you further in the game, but for now there are 6 cards. So there are 3 red cards and then there are 3 blue cards. In 3 red cards there's one card called as a swap card, one called as an I card, there's one card which is called as a mixing card, and then there are similar in blue, there is one swap and then there are 2 I cards. There is no mixing card in blue. We'll come to it later. So these are the set amount of cards, which are 6 cards, which are given to each of them. This is player 1 and this is player 2. So both the players have to hide their cards. All right, and we'll see how the game further continues. So let's start the game. The first move of the game can be played by anyone. There's no as such a first mover advantage which I could have found out yet. So the rule says that they should place one of the entangled pair on any of these fields. So for example, the player 1 chooses to place this pink entangled pair on the fields. Also the rule says that they shouldn't be in the same field. They can be at any cell of the field, but they shouldn't be on the same field. Alright, so let's suppose the player 1 has placed it here and player 1 has placed it on this field. Also, while placing the pairs, player 1 should not look under them that which one is cat and which one is a flask. Same for player 2. At their first move, they have to choose which pair should they put on which cell of what field. For example, if the orange player chooses to put yellow entangled pair, they can put it on any field. Again, it should not be the same field, but it can be the field of the opponent. For example, if the orange player chooses to put it here or here, it's okay, but it shouldn't be like this in the same field. Alright, so for example, they put it here and they put it here. So after the first move, the game basically opens. By that I mean that both the players have now multiple choices to play the element. For example, player 1 can choose to place their entangled pair. Also, the entangled pair is counted as one turn and not just one particle or just one entangled particle. They can place one particle, that's the second choice, or they can play a card. So for example, if the player chooses to place the entangled particle, then again the rules are the same. They can place it in 2 different fields only. They can also place it in the opponent's field and their previous particle or the other particle from their team, but these 2 yellows can't be in one field. Or they can choose to play these particles. What these particles do, they'll maximize the field. So for example, if they want to place this particle, so there are these 2 of these particles which are entangled. They can place this particle adjacent to the entangled particle only. Like for example, 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes are vacant. 1, 2, 3 boxes are vacant. They can't place it diagonally. Alright, so for example, if they choose to place it here, they'll place it here. Similarly, the orange player decides to place it here. Now the objective of the game is to basically maximize the field by your particles. By that I mean, if let's suppose, so at the end of the game, after playing all these entangled particles, after playing all these normal particles, and after playing all these cards, the fields will be filled, and at the end of the game everyone will say reveal. So by that what you mean is we have to reveal these boxes. Alright, so for example, now this box has a cat inside and this box has a flask inside. In this field, the green player has a cat inside and an adjacent particle. In this field, the orange player has a flask inside and an adjacent particle. So if the case was something like this, even though there are 2 particles to maximize the field of the orange player, there's a flask inside, so it can't be counted. So this whole thing can't be counted, but there's a cat inside and then there is a green particle adjacent to it. This will maximize the field for the green particle, and in that way the green player will win this field. and the objective of the game is to win the maximum number of fields. So now the question comes is that this game is a game of luck, right? That it's about just placing randomly at your turns, and it's also boring that we are just counting on our luck that what should be placed where. For that, there are these cards. Alright, you can play these cards after the first turn, as I said before. So let's one by one understand what these cards mean. So the first card, which is blue eye card, if a player plays this card, let's suppose green player is playing this card, so they can choose to pick up any of their entangled pair particle and have a look at it and then place it again. By this, what they will get that what is the other particle, and then they can choose which to maximize and which not to maximize. So there are two of these cards. Every player will get two eye cards. Then there's something called as blue swap card. So what this is, like, okay, it's fine that you have seen the particles or you have known the state of the particles, but what if you played this at the end of the game and you don't have any more particles to maximize this, right? So after playing the swap card, what you can do, if this field has a cat and this field has a flask, then basically this cat should come here to maximize this field because you have your adjacent particles here. So after playing a swap card, you can swap this. That is counted as a turn. So let's come to the red card. So the red card also has an eye card. If the orange player plays an eye card, they can have a look at any of one entangled particle of the opposite player. So for example, they can have a look at the green particle, and here there is a cat. So that they'll get to know that this is a flask. So basically cat is counted and flask is not counted. After red card, there is again a swap card. Like in blue cards, there is one in red also. If the orange player plays a swap card, then they can swap the opponent's entangled pair. So basically blue cards are for your own particles and red cards are for the opponents. Then there's one more card which is not there in blue cards, but it's there in a red card, which is called as a mix card. What the mix card does, if a player plays this card, so basically the green player has seen the state of the pairs and tried to maximize the field near the cat. Then the orange player comes in and sabotages the plans, sabotages the benefits which they have got from the cards. And then again the green player plays the blue card and watches the state of the entangled pair. So this can go so on and so forth. If the orange player plays the mix card, and if they want to negate the benefit of the green player of knowing the state of its own particles, then they can just have these particles in the hand and they can just shake them, and randomly without looking they can place it at the same position. So these are the benefits of all of these 6 cards. The play basically goes on what to play when, and is there a chance of a luck or is there a chance of a strategy here. Then there's also conflict, which is being created with the help of the cards. And then there are some annotations from the field of quantum physics, which, for example, I have given this flask, which is basically the radioactive element, and the cat, and there's something, if I don't know if it's visible in the camera, but there's a sort of notch or embossed thing here, so that even if people don't want to look at the particle, maybe there's a fear of that maybe the opponent is looking into the specs, or the opponent will get to know if I'm looking there, so they can just touch below or inside the box, so that they'll feel that there's a notch means it's a cat, and if there's no notch, it's a flask. So by this I've tried to include the principles of superposition, principles of the quantum collapse, which is at the end, which is the name of the game essentially, which is called reveal. And then there's quantum entanglement, to get to know that people how the states are being known by just looking at one of the particle of the pair. So there are just like this easy and basic level concepts which I have integrated in a gameplay. I don't claim that the people will learn quantum physics, but they will get a sort of an idea of how uncertainty works, how luck, strategy, and conflict can be very much calculated on the edge, and can be integrated together to form a game, something like this, and labeling it under the name of quantum physics would justify it, that okay, the field is like that, so maybe doing this is a sort of justification to the field. Also, one more thing, that the field is sort of imaginary, that most compared to most of the macro level physics is very much imaginary and not being seen. So it's what I think it's sort of necessary to get a tangible design to it, a tangible form to it, so that people can interact with the elements, and then these things, the nature of these elements, can get into the normal conversation, and these things can be normalized. I'll be also linking down some of the games which we have designed and the website of the game design studio at IDC School of Design. And for now, yeah, bye bye.